The educational system as a whole is built to turn you into an employee. The rich people who own the businesses need someone to work for them, and that's where you come in. That's why employers look for people who are, quote-unquote, highly educated. This tells the employers that you are obedient, responsible, and dependable. It shows that you did your homework and you are a follower of the system. Here are the top 8 reasons why educated people are poor. If you are new to the channel and want to learn how to make more money, subscribe and click the bell. That way you never miss a video. Number 8. People stop learning. Education means so much more than just certificates and degrees. Education comes from everyday life. Unfortunately, most people graduate and they stop learning. They stop learning new skills because they think they have all the education they need. It's important to educate yourself outside of school because the world is constantly changing. The more you know about what's going on in the world, the better equipped you'll be to make decisions that will impact your life and the lives of those around you. Unfortunately, many people never take the time to educate themselves outside of school, and as a result, they remain poor. Look at education like a vital necessity. Education is like water. You drink water every day, so make educating yourself every day a habit. Learn a new skill. Read a book about a topic that you're interested in. Just because you graduated college doesn't mean that you're done learning. Number 7. People who think they're educated can be arrogant. Some people who get a degree think that those who dropped out of college or those who dropped out of high school don't know anything. Sometimes the older and more educated generation can fall into the trap of thinking they know more than the younger people who didn't graduate college. But remember, most of the time, it's the younger generation that knows where the world is going. You've got to keep up with the times, stay technologically smart, and be able to see the next big trend coming up. The younger, less educated person can sometimes know a whole lot more valuable information than the person who has that master's degree. For example, the internet is incredibly valuable today. There are so many young people who never went to college who are racking up millions of dollars on YouTube and Instagram with Amazon FBA and by starting an online business. When it comes to making money online, you could potentially be making millions of dollars from the comfort of your own home. And that's right, no college degree is required. So always be open to new possibilities. Be accepting of change, and never assume that just because someone is younger than you and just because they didn't graduate college doesn't mean that they don't have better money-making ideas than you do. Be humble and learn from everyone, no matter their age or education level. Number 6. They can be wasteful with money. Listen, the real world and the school world are two completely different things. A person graduates college, they're finally making some decent money, and what's the first thing they do? That's right, you guessed it, they are off to the store to buy their smartphones, luxury cars, big TVs, designer clothes, and luxury vacations. You can be extremely well educated. You can even be making a ton of money at the high-paying job that your education got. But all that means absolutely nothing if you are wasteful with your money. And get this, a lot of people are. How wealthy you become has nothing to do with your education and everything to do with your ideas and beliefs about money, as well as how smart you are with the money that you earn. Number 5. Many educated people lose their job. It doesn't matter how many years of schooling you've had, and it doesn't matter how many degrees you've got. You can still lose your job at any moment. Of course, this can be said for any person, educated or not. An entrepreneur can lose his business at any moment too. However, an entrepreneur losing his business is different compared to another guy losing his job as an employee. An employee's future and career depends on the decisions of another person, whereas an entrepreneur's career is dependent on that entrepreneur. And yes, there are those rare exceptions when a business is struck by disaster and a person has to start all over and rebuild their business. But in most cases, they started from scratch to begin with, so they know exactly what to do to bounce back and start again. Now, if an employee loses his job, he has to go find another job working for someone else, and it could be a job that isn't near as good as the last job that he invested the past 15 years on. Number 4, student loan debt. The massive myth that you must get student loans to be able to pay for college is perhaps the most significant money trap in our nation these days, and it's resulted in a more than $1.7 trillion student loan problem. In 2020, student loan debt statistics showed that over 44.7 million Americans have student loans on file. Here's a major nugget of truth for you. There are lots of ways to pay for schooling without having loans. You can save thousands of dollars on your schooling by doing things such as going to an inexpensive college, getting a job, making an application for grants and scholarships, tuition reimbursement, and getting some credit hours at a community college prior to relocating to a 4-year school. Believe me, the student loan business doesn't want you to win. They intend to get your money, so don't let them take it. The graduating class of 2018 had an average debt of $29,200. And that's nothing compared to the poor souls who graduated with as much as $200,000 in student loan debt. Just let that sink in for a moment. In 2010, it took 7 years for the average college graduate to pay off the student loan. However, nowadays, it takes about 10 years to pay off. With these numbers to look at, it's easy to see why highly educated people end up poor because of the massive amount of debt they have to pay off. Number 3, school teaches you to work alone. Successful people who obtain a massive amount of wealth are great at working with others, collaborating with people, and building a team of people. They are excellent at getting people with different strengths and skills to come together to accomplish a goal. Unfortunately, schools aren't designed to teach you how to work with others. Think about it. You take tests alone. You do your homework alone. You do your assignments alone. Pretty much everything is done alone. And don't get me wrong, learning to do things alone can be useful too, but in the real world, you also need to know how to collaborate with others and get people to work together on a common goal so you and your team can make money. In addition to learning how to communicate with people to get them to work together, you also have to communicate with people to sell, negotiate, persuade, and so on. Selling and negotiating are the core of starting and growing a business and paving the road to lasting wealth. Number 2, the more schooling you have, the more you'll like your job. Here's what I mean by that. School is pretty much made to turn you into a 9-to-5 employee. The more time you spend in school, the more likely you are going to enjoy working at a 9-to-5 job. I saw an interesting quote the other day, and here is what it said. Quote, "My friend spent his university money on a poultry farm. I spent mine pursuing education. I have graduated, and now I'm working for him. I wish I could turn back the time." End quote. Wow, I mean, how powerful is that? Here you've got 2 people, one who spends his money on a college degree and the other pursuing a business, and in the end, look who is working for who. Having a job doesn't give you the leverage you need to generate real wealth. Of course, you want to be pursuing work that you enjoy, but look at it this way. The more likely you love your 9-to-5 job, the more likely you will stay there, working away your years for someone else, earning minimum wage, and most importantly, you're never able to leverage that work and scale your growth. Leveraging the work and scaling basically means you can hire other people to do the work, and you can keep on hiring people to grow and grow and grow, and before you know it, you're insanely rich. However, you can't do that if you're working your 9-to-5 job for someone else. When you're working in your cozy little cubicle, you're basically working to make someone else's dreams come true, not your own. Before I move on to number 1, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe and click the bell. That way, you'll be the first to see my next money-making video. Also, type the word yes down in the comments below if you are determined to build massive wealth and not fall into the poverty trap. Number 1, school doesn't teach financial education. When you think about education, you think about school. And when you think about school, you think that teachers will help you learn everything you need to learn in order to be successful in life. However, that line of thinking couldn't be further from the truth. You can be a lawyer and know everything there is to know about law. You can be a doctor and know everything there is to know about the body. You can be a psychiatrist and know everything about the mind and emotions. However, even if you have a PhD, even if you're a lawyer, a psychiatrist, or a doctor, that doesn't mean you know a darn thing about money. So even if you get 2 to 3 college degrees, you probably still have no clue how to invest, how to budget, how to manage your money, or how to do your taxes. If anything, a financial education should be one of the first things we are taught. If you need some passive income ideas to get you started making massive amounts of money, click the video on the screen. Here I'll share 35 easy ways to make passive income.